Hey, what's going on guys, this is 5 Large Fries, and today I'm going to be talking about PubG on Xbox, how it fares up, what I think of it, and also, is it worth buying into the early access? Now before we start, it is important to note that I bought into the early access, and that I hold no bias with any of my purchasing decisions. Also note that all this footage was recorded on the original launch day version of the Xbox, so it's not the Xbox One S or an Xbox One X, and that also this footage was recorded on the Elgato HD 60, bearing in mind that this game runs at a maximum of 30 frames per second, but is a little bit lower than that, let's be real. So first of all, if you are living under a rock, PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds, or PUBG as it's commonly known, is a battle royale game where you can either queue solo, you can play with a friend in duos, or play with multiple friends in the squad queue, and a squad queue being a maximum of 4. You spawn in from an aeroplane, you drop down, you have to find loot, get guns, things like that, and fight until you're the last person or last squad standing out of 100 other people. And you guys probably already knew that anyway. Now, let's get into this game, and it is really fun to play, especially with friends. But if you're completely new to the game, you may struggle with knowing where to go, what ammo goes with certain guns, and then there's also weapon mods that you would find for these guns as well. This is going to be completely overwhelming for a new player, and I found that, again, for myself as a new player, even though I had looked at some videos online to help me learn and things like that, I found that I was picking up pretty much everything, even if I didn't need it, and you'll most likely see me do this in this video anyway. However, I would suggest playing maybe with a veteran of the game, so someone who's been playing this for quite a while, because they'll be able to teach you the ropes a little bit better. Of course, there are videos online that can help you learn as well. Now, I want to list off a couple of issues that I ran into with this game, and again, just note that this game is in early access, so it is expected to have some issues, but with it having a buying cost of £24.99 in the UK, or $29.99 in the US, then this might be something that you would like to know before you jump in at the deep end and buy into the early access. So first of all, the elephant in the room is it being 30 frames per second or lower, and this is something that I knew this game would suffer from, as I personally knew that the Xbox wouldn't be able to handle anything higher than 30 frames a second, especially the launch day consoles. Next of all is the textures, and this is my real issue that I have when you first load into the game, and you can see here none of the textures loading correctly at the very start. So when you spawn in and drop down, so you can see here that I landed on the roof, and you'll see that I'm twitching out because the game thinks that there's nothing there, but it is telling you that there's something. I don't know how programming works, you get the idea. But there are also sections where you can walk into where a door would be and essentially glitch through that door as if it was open, and this is again due to the game not loading in correctly, not loading the textures in and things like that. And it is only an issue that you have at the start of a game, and this is something that can be very troublesome if you were to land in a highly contested area, and if your opponents that are dropping in these areas as well have their textures load in faster than you, then they're going to know where the weapons are, they're going to understand where the doors are and things like that, because you can't really see anything when the textures are looking like it's from 1980. That's the only way I can describe it. Now, the aiming in this game as well feels pretty clunky at times, and there's no current aim assist on controllers currently, or if there is, it's very minimal that you don't even notice it at all. And most of the times, you'll see that I completely whiff my shots, especially with, say, a shotgun. The amount of times this happens is embarrassingly high, though this is something that with continued play you'll get used to, and it also might just be the fact that I'm pretty bad at games nowadays, let's be real. The last thing I want to talk about is the client being pretty unstable since the launch, and the game crashes pretty frequently. It feels very random at times. You're not going to know when it's going to crash until it hits you. And I'm unsure what causes this issue, but in a very extreme case, my game crashed, so I loaded back in, only for it to crash literally after I took 2 steps. This is a pretty harsh problem as well. One of the issues that comes around this as well is when you do crash, your character continues to move forward. It's strange. Like, we played in a squad of 4 and one of us would crash out and you would see their character just continually move forward until they load in again, where the character would then stop until their game loads in and they would regain control of their character. It's a very strange issue that leaves you pretty exposed, especially if you're playing solo, but it is something that I can see them patching pretty quickly. Looking past these faults, the game is really enjoyable, and I had the most fun playing this with friends, and the games are very intense, and getting those clutch plays, the perfect shots, all of this makes very exciting gameplay and just a very exciting game to play, pretty much. And for me, I had the most fun playing this game that I have had in a very long time, and it has really rekindled that enjoyment that I have for gaming again. Now, is the game worth buying into? Now, if you can look past the issues, it certainly is. But at the same time, if you are looking to invest your money in certain things, maybe you don't know whether it's worth the $30 or £24 in the UK, then it's definitely worth waiting until some of these issues are ironed out. Now, I don't want to give it the excuse of, oh, well, it's in early access, so it's absolutely fine, because it's not really fine when the game's broken in such a way. But at the same time, you do also need to understand that it is an early access game that you're buying into. It's that sort of flip of the coin motion where on one side you do need to understand that, you know, issues will occur in an early access game, but you also don't want to keep giving it that excuse time and time again, because otherwise companies will just keep getting away with it. But that is a story for another time. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button, it'll help me out so much. Also subscribe if you are new, and I shall see you in the next video.